Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale with your host, Larry Cox. It's great to have everybody here tonight, and I'm going to say hello to a few people here tonight. Dan Burke's in the house. Good day, Dan. How are you doing today? Uh, Marie Weathers is in the house. Good day, Marie. Megan Walker is in the house. Good day, Megan. And then Mary Boysworth is in the house, and Mary, I saw you at the meeting this past Thursday, and you joined the Republican Party of Rockdale County. That was um, great to have you there. Clayton Norwood, great to see you. Cheryl Garcia, great to see you in the house tonight too. Guys, it is great to have this audience building, and it's great to have you people joining us tonight. It's great to have the people of Rockdale County join the show and to be involved. That's one thing I can say about the citizens of Rockdale County. They really do, and we really do care about our county and what's going on. And this board of commission and this board of education, they just don't get that the citizens of this county do pay attention and they are watching what's happening, and they don't like it one bit. This week, the board of education is going to send. They did, they notify citizens. They're going to send a resolution to the local delegation and ask them to raise the homestead exemption on the school taxes from 35,000 a year to 55,000 a year for those 65 and older. Uh, it's not what we wanted. We'll take what we can get, but I just want to let you guys know that's only about $1.5 million additional. That's how that would impact the BOE budget is $1.5 million. The BOE, even if they take the rollback rate each year through property tax assessment, is going to increase the amount that they tax by more than that a year. So they didn't reach down deep to give us anything, guys. We asked for what other people around us. I was in a meeting in DeKalb County today, and at 75 years old in DeKalb County, 0%. 0%. At 65, they do it and you get some percent based on income and all this, but at 75 years old, it's zero. So, Rockdale County residents we deserve a little better tax relief than what they're willing to do, and they were just not willing to budge on this and give the senior taxpayers of Rockdale County what they deserve. And this is what I tell the senior taxpayers of Rockdale County. You need to reach out to the members of the Board of Education. You need to ask them some specific questions, especially the ones that are going to be on the ballot this coming time, because we have an empty seat. You have a couple of people challenging each other. It's a nonpartisan race. So that means Republicans and Democrats both will be participating and voting in that. You need to ask the candidates a couple of questions. You need to ask them, do they support real property tax relief for senior citizens? And then you need to ask them, do they support the rehiring of Terry Oates as school superintendent? I personally do not support the rehiring of Terry Oates as school superintendent. I think he's done a terrible job as school superintendent. And the rankings of Rockdale County over his tenure have shown that. I think those two questions, if a candidate will not answer them, I've asked two candidates that I know that are running for the empty seat that question. I asked both if they would support Terry Oates in another term after this one, if they were on the board when it came due to give to renew his contract. One told me that was not a simple question as that as I asked, and it was very complicated. The other candidate told me that to him it's very clear the citizens of Rockdale County do not support Superintendent Oates, and as a member of the Board of Education, he would not be able to vote in favor of rehiring him. I'm not going to tell you which ones said what. The Rockdale voter group is intended on having a candidate forum for local officials, those running for office, and we're hoping to do that sometime the second week of April. And those candidates will be invited to the Rockdale voter group in the forum, and they will be asked that questions. They will be asked those questions. What kind of additional tax relief do you support for senior citizens? They will be asked if at that when they get to vote on hiring or the rehiring and extending a contract of Superintendent Oates, how they would vote. Because those are legitimate questions that need to be asked, and not this uh, nonsense about well, what will that's too difficult of a question, and it's not that simple, and it's not a yes or no answer. Yeah, that's a slimy politician answer. When somebody says it's not a yes or no answer and it's complicated, it means they don't want to stick their neck out and don't want to be held accountable for their actions or inactions. So I say to the citizens of Rockdale County, we're going to ask those questions, and if I actually doubt that the one candidate will show up to the forum. So when we have the forum and the candidate doesn't come, then I don't feel I will release that name at that point when that individual does not show up to the forum, because I don't think they'll show up to the forum because they think it'll be a hostile atmosphere, because I just told that person that I can't take that, because he told me, well, I'm not going to be your hit man on the Board of Education. I don't want you to be a hit man on the Board of Education. I want you to do what's right for the citizens of Rockdale County. And if that means not hiring someone back that's done a bad job, that's not being anybody's hit man. That's asking you to represent the citizens of Rockdale County in a professional and efficient manner, so that you wouldn't want to bring someone back and pay them $250,000 a year when they were not very good at their job. I mean, I'd like some comment in the chat about that. What do you guys? Let me ask the chat. I want some. Do you guys think that Superintendent Oates has done a good job as school superintendent over the last 3 years that he's been the school superintendent during COVID and such? I mean, you let me know. I mean, you're voters, taxpayers, citizens of the county. Do you think that that your tax dollars have been spent wisely with Director Oates? And Mary Bosworth says, "Oh hell no." We get the hell no, and y'all know that's my favorite answer when it's something that's definitely should be a no. It's not just a no; it's a hell no. So I'm glad to see that. And Cheryl Garcia, absolutely not. And and this is the thing that I'm concerned about the superintendent too. Dan Burks, no, that that we hire these high level employees and they don't even live in the county. Uh, that's right, Loris Kelton. What has he done that is notable? Correct. There has been nothing done notable. Just look at the ratings. Bill Campbell says, "Hell no." The rating is still a D. Yes, it is, Clayton. Actually, D minus. So we went down a minus. So we're a D minus. And and this is the thing about it. Somebody told me, the only reason we're a D, and it's because they don't give out Fs. Because if they gave out Fs, Rockdale County would be an F. And that's factual. If they gave out grades lower than a D, then yes, Rockdale County would have gotten the failing F. And that's what Dan Burks just says. And they don't give an F. And we have the lowest grade that you can possibly get, and that's a D. And folks, the citizens of Rockdale County and the students of Rockdale County, we deserve better than what we're getting for our tax dollars. It is pathetic, Mary, totally pathetic. And what we've got to realize is the citizens of Rockdale County do deserve better. They deserve better from our elected officials. And that's where it comes up to you, the voters of Rockdale County. You've got the right to ask these elected officials these hard questions. Then you also have the right to not vote for them. If they don't behave the way you want them to, if they don't vote the way they want you to, and if they don't take care of the county's business the way that you think they should, then you definitely have the right to not vote and put these individuals back in office. And that's what I think we should do. I think we should not vote and put the same people back in office time after time again with no results being different. Why would we want to put the same people in office time after time and the results are not any different? guys, we've got to stop that. We've got to stand up for ourselves, and we got to say enough is enough. Well, we're going to shift a second, talk about the Board of Commission. So I got an email from one of our listeners this week that told me that the Board of Commission is up to it again about passing resolutions without having meetings with the citizens that will be result in spending extra tax dollars that they didn't discuss with us. And that resolution, from what I've been told, is the Board of Commission wanting to give themselves raises. And to do that, they have to send a resolution to the board, to the local state delegation, asking the delegation to pass local legislation to do that. Well, that's interesting because I'd reached out to some of the members of the local delegation. They've not received the resolution yet, but I'm sure that resolution will be coming. And here we go. These guys at it again. They had the resolution they presented to the delegation about the PFA. Well, that was not run by the citizens. Then they had this horse and pony show, 3 online virtual meetings to appease the delegation, saying that they had held town hall meetings to discuss this issue with the citizens of Rockdale County. They were very scared. The delegation has received they have received the revised resolution, is what I was told, Bill, that they have received the revised resolution, but no one have moved on it. The delegation hasn't spoken about it, and they've not discussed change of converting that resolution to a law, to a bill yet. So that has to be done. One of the members of the delegation must pick that up as the sponsor. They must take that to legislative council, and they must then convert that to a bill that then they present to the rest of the delegation and have it go through the legislative process. But none of the delegates as of yet have taken that resolution and declared themselves the sponsor, from what have been told as of yesterday. So Monday, I think we'll see what action is taken on that and what happened. And what really drives me a little bit nuts about that PFA resolution is the fact that the guy who's going to sell the bonds to the county is the guy who wrote the resolution, which would then be turned into a bill. I mean, I'm going to write my own paycheck. I'm going to write this thing so that it's as easy as possible for these 3 commissioners to appoint themselves to the board to approve loans and then send it back to themselves as the Board of Commission to approve the idea that they came up with when they were the board members. My goodness, guys, you can't make that kind of nonsense up if you tried. The same people who present the idea will approve the idea. Can you imagine that? I mean, that just does not work. I'm going to come up with this idea. I'm going to present it. I'm going to draft it up. Then I'm going to send it myself to approve it. That is a recipe for disaster. Dan Burst, our former commissioner, pointed that out. Yep. So whether or not whether or not the PFA dies, I'm going to put this up on the thing. So, here, let me put this one up from the Politics from Alex. Whether the PFA dies, we will still have to defeat this SPLOST to protect it and us from the future. That's 100% correct, Alex. We've discussed that, guys, and we're going to have to do that. No matter what happens with this PFA, it is going to be very important to defeat this SPLOST this coming election cycle. And if we defeat this SPLOST, I've done some research. Some people had thought they would be able to reintroduce the SPLOST for November. Not so. The SPLOST will not be able to be reintroduced for a full calendar year. So they would not be able to introduce the SPLOST again on the ballot until the following May. So that would give us plenty of time to go to them and say, hey, this is what you need to do. So, and then we have another cycle where they would try to introduce the PFA. So we need to defeat this SPLOST, defeat it soundly, so that this Board of Commission has an idea that the citizens of this county have had enough and that we're not going to play that game anymore. So, guys, we've got to really stand up to these individuals and stop this erratic behavior by this Board of Commission. Now, I had talked earlier at the Republican Party meeting that, that possibly one of the commissioners had been disbarred this week. I've not been able to confirm that yet, but I have some really strong sources that have told me that it is so, that somebody who serves on the Board of Commission who may be a lawyer may not be a lawyer anymore. So we're waiting to actually see the documentation so that we can throw that documentation up on screen and let you know. But I have spoken to people in high places who have told me that this has occurred and that the documentation is coming shortly. So, like I said, I know I talked to people about doing something or speaking to that about on the show, but I just will tell you from my top level sources, this is something that has occurred and that had been in the works for to have occurred for a while now. So, but I will talk about this because this documentation was provided to me this week. I didn't bring it on the show, but there is a Rockdale County Commissioner, Sherry Washington, who practices law in Rockdale County, who on her website says that she is allowed to practice law in Texas. Well, it was provided to me this week, documentation from the state of Texas that Miss Washington no longer has a law license to practice in the state of Texas. Charlotte, you're referring to a administrative suspension. What I was told, the person who may have had some issues it will be a disbarment. The disbarment, the license cannot be reinstated because it is not an administrative suspension. So we're being told that it's a disbarment, just like the Texas situation. It's a disbarment. So, but Sherry Washington actually states on her website she can practice law in the state of Texas. That is not true. You can go to the Texas bar and look that up right now, and she is not allowed to practice law in the state of Texas. So that's a little bit of misrepresentation on her website, because she is not allowed to practice law in the state of Texas. And on her website, she states she is a licensed attorney in the state of Texas, and that is just not accurate. That can be verified at this point. So just wanted you guys, Clayton, or disbarment, not a small thing. No, disbarment is not a small thing. And it's, usually when someone, they're habitually not following the rules. So if you're an attorney and you habitually don't follow the rules, the documentation that I saw from Texas was a disbarment. So it's what I was sent this week. But what I have a problem is, that people that continuously don't follow the rules in one aspect of their life, they have a tendency to do that in all aspects of their life. And that's what we need to be very much aware of when we vote and elect elected officials. If they're rule breakers, they don't follow the rules, then what makes you think they're going to follow the rules and they're going to actually abide by your wishes as citizens and taxpayers when they just circumvent things? I mean, this Board of Commission has proven they're circumventers. The $140 million bond, they tried to circumvent a lot of things there. trash gate, tried to circumvent a lot of things there. Even this restoration storehouse and Parker Road issue, really not true full disclosure with that deal. We've got, now we're looking at the PFA, not full disclosure there. The SPLOST, no disclosure at all because they decided they were just going to give a generalization of money to be sent and not a list of projects that have been done in the past. Because I've spoken to many former SPLOST members and present SPLOST members who tell me this is the first time that a SPLOST has been introduced, that the projects that were going to be completed were not made aware beforehand. So this is unprecedented with SPLOST presentation. With this Board of Commission just keeps diving deeper and deeper into the woods with the manipulation and the not being forthcoming. So guys, Rockdale County deserves better and we need better. And it's up to you, the voters and citizens of Rockdale County, to demand full disclosure for everything. And that's what I ask you to do. I ask you to really look at this and research this and find out what you can do. I want to talk a little about, we had a really good meeting Thursday night at the Republican Party. We had a very large crowd there. We maxed the place out. Pushing 60 people, if not over it sometimes. We went over the PFA and the SPLOST again with that group of people and explained that to them. They were appalled at a lot of the information. A lot of them weren't aware of it. So, we're going to, like I said, we're going to run a real good campaign about that and make you, the citizens, aware of the conflict that the PFA and the SPLOST make to you. But we had Senator David Perdue come in the room, and he spoke to us, and he's running for governor, and he really did a great job of putting forth his agenda of why he's running for governor and why he wanted the Republicans to support him, even though we have an incumbent Republican governor that's seeking re-election, that he doesn't take lightly, that he's entered into the race as an opponent against an incumbent. But he's got some really valid reasons for doing that. And I just encourage any Republican voters that are out here today, just go check out, what the senator is all about and check out his platform. I think it's worthwhile. And then also, just to give you guys a little bit of advance notice, sometime here in the next month, the senator is going to be coming on the show. And I've talked to Alex about it, and he's agreed that he would like to come in and co-host with me that night. And Alex and I can interview Senator Perdue as he's running for governor. And, and I like to try to bring these folks on the show when we can, because, you guys deserve to have people like that on the show, that you can hear what they're doing and what they're up to and how they want to represent you. And I just feel very lucky that sometimes I'm able to get these kind of people to come on the show, and that we're able to service you with that. So as soon as I can make that happen through his communications director, we'll be putting that out, and so that all of you are aware of when that's going to happen, and that you can come on and watch that show and ask some questions to Senator Perdue about what he would do as governor. I mean, I think he stayed there the other night till well after 8 o'clock and answered Q&A for the audience. And then after the meeting was over, he stayed another 45 minutes and just spoke with the citizens. Some people at other meetings had been giving him a bad rap, saying, he tried to hurry in and out the room. But, if you're the second event or the last event that one of these politicians are doing, they like to hang around and talk to people. But a lot of times they've got 3 and 4 events they're doing that day, and they're just not able to stay because they have to get to the other event. In fact, Senator Perdue was 30, 40 minutes late getting to our event, and it was due to traffic. He had left at the scheduled time, but it was just 285. Traffic was just horrible from where he was coming from. So he got there late, but he made up for it. He stayed late answering questions, and then he stayed that additional time, just mingling and talking with you, the citizens of Rockdale County, about your concerns. So that happened, and it was great. And just enjoyed the time that we had with the senator. Upcoming, we have the Cherry Blossom Festival coming up the end of this month, the 26th and 27th. That is going to be a great event. I always love doing the Cherry Blossom Festival because we get to meet and greet a lot of people and talk to them about a lot of different things. We usually have our raffle, which we are raffling a firearm. So, guys, go to the Rockdale County Republican website where it says raffle. Hit that raffle and follow the link to purchase your to do your donation to get raffle tickets for the firearm that we're raffling. It's always a great event. Also, at the Cherry Blossom Festival, we will have candidates' signs and paraphernalia. We will be collecting material from candidates that are running in the primary as Republicans, and we will have some of their signs and stuff so you can come by and get that. But not only that, we will also be providing Vote No Splosh signs. We have a Vote No Splosh material, door hangers. We will have Vote No Splosh bumper stickers. So you can come get your Vote No Splosh paraphernalia. The parking Cherry Blossom is $8, I think now. Inflation, Charlotte, it's inflation. You got a couple people to thank for that, and one of them that comes directly in mind to me is former Vice President Biden. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to change the topic a little bit about local and go world news here. We've all know about the war in the Ukraine. I'll tell you, there are two individuals that are both Republicans that I feel if they were president during this time, I don't know if this would be going down exactly the way it is. Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. Those were two guys that knew how to handle themselves on the world stage. And I think things would be a lot different right now if we would have a Ronald Reagan or a Donald Trump in the White House, other than what we have right now. And that's just, I don't even think that's speculation, guys. I just think that, that's just being honest. Today at church service today, I found out that our church is affiliated with a mission in the Ukraine, and they're right now attempting to get 100 orphans out of the Ukraine and into Poland. And they were needing a significant amount of money in the next 24 hours to be able to do that. So our church had come up with a goal that we were going to try to raise $10,000 today to do that. And I know our church, and I know how we give, and I will guarantee you that we met that goal to help that missionary do that work and to evacuate those children from the Ukraine. And they were orphans. It was an orphanage that they were evacuating, and but they needed the money to be able to evacuate them, then get them somewhere else, and get them set up in Poland. So that was what we were doing, and I was planning on doing something with some money this week, and I just said, you know what, I can just pass on that, and I just wrote the check and donated that money to that cause because, to me that's just something that we've got to stand up and do. And I'm not a pro-war person or this or that, but what's happening in the Ukraine right now, it's just, as people and as just humans, you got to take a stand sometimes, guys. I mean, I think that this is a time to take a stand. I agree that I don't think Vladimir Putin is going to stop at Ukraine. I think he's going to try venturing on past that border, and when he does, it will escalate. So I believe that I think if it's going to escalate, then let's just make it happen now. Just make it happen and get it done. Like I said, I do feel that if there were two persons of their caliber that would have been president at this time, we would be looking at a different situation right now. And, I just hope the midterms have a different impact on this nation. And in 24, the presidential election, it's just a different impact because America can't handle what's going on right now. I know Alex and I had talked on, an election show that we talked about America needed to feel pain. And Al, if you're here, you can comment. Did you actually believe it would be this much pain, Al, or did you? I mean, I knew we were going to feel pain, but I think we're going to a threshold even above what I thought we would feel. I thought we would feel pain, but I think this threshold is going to far exceed the pain that I thought we would feel. I just think that we deserve better. The world deserves, America deserves better, and America deserves to present itself better to the world than we're presenting ourselves right now. And as Americans, we can change the trajectory of this country. We can change that outcome, and we can do that at the ballot box. So I just encourage everyone that's listening to me. Uh, Yeah, and you're right. Russell was a surprise, but not that big of a surprise. I mean, something like that definitely. I mean, but I mean, we've got to change the trajectory of this country, and it's up to each and every one of us to do it. And I think that so somebody just texted my phone and asked me, does Stacey Abrams want to come on the show? And I tell you what, if Stacey Abrams would want to come on the show, you guys know me. I'm a First Amendment guy. She's more than welcome. Stacey Abrams, if you're listening, any of Stacey Abrams folks, you're more than glad to come on this week from Rockdale, and we'll talk about election integrity. We'll talk about your little folks that were volunteers and from your little agency that ran some elections, and we'll just talk about all of it. I mean, if you come on the show, you're gonna get some questions asked to you might not want to, but yeah, I mean, no, Stacey Abrams can come on the show if she wants to. Brian Kemp could come on the show if he wants to. I mean, I'll hold nothing back. I think there's only one person that was ever barred from coming on the other show this week in Rockdale, and you know what? Just to honor the integrity we have, I might have to still uphold that person being barred, Alex. I think that was the right thing to do. Unless that person sends you an apology, then that person will never come on any show that I host either. Because I think that person did block you, and then wondering why they couldn't come on the show and they were blocked. You were blocked. So no, there's only one person that's blocked from the local media here, and that person can send an apology to Mr. Alex McDonald, and I think they can get unblocked. But until they do, they're not gonna get on the show. But all these other folks, they can definitely come on the thing. So Clayton, you're asking a question. So let's see here. As a Rockdale citizen, I haven't seen or heard about a no splosh message for us. Who knows about this ideology? Well, Clayton, I'm going to tell you the Rockdale voter is going to be doing a campaign that's going to be vote no for the splosh. You will be getting that messaging. We will have flyers. You can go to the Rockdale voter right now and read about why we should not have a splosh. I've talked about this on the show several times. Alex and I talked about it on the show a few weeks ago about why that we should not be a splosh, and we're going to oppose the splosh. So there is a movement in Rockdale County to not approve this splosh as presented, because it does not include the building of a courthouse with splosh monies. We think that the courthouse should be built with splosh funds and not through general obligation bonds or through a PFA. Yes, Charlotte, signs are still scheduled to be here on March 10th. The door hanger or the push cards actually came on the 5th, and they were supposed to originally been on the 10th. So that material has began to arrive. We will get the yard signs, and the bumper stickers will be in no later than the 10th. So we will start having this material be pushed out to the general population at that point. And at some point, there will be a digital billboard on I-20 talking about the SPLOST also. And if you were at the Rockdale Republican Party meeting this past week, we had a sandwich board, and it had some information about voting no for the SPLOST also. So this is very early in the game. So that message is going to be getting out to the community. We are going to do a lot of things. Actually, Alex and I discussed today about I want to film a couple of videos and talking about the SPLOST. We'll be pushing those videos out as ads, and we'll be talking in those videos about why you shouldn't vote for the SPLOST and how the SPLOST is harmful and how it is tied to the PFA. So we've got some ambitious plans ahead of us. We've got some fundraising that we've been done. We've actually raised a few $1,000s so far, and we've spent some of it on some of these materials. And we've got pledges for some additional funds that will be coming in to help finance the campaign against the SPLOST. So this is going to be a well-organized, well-run campaign against the SPLOST. And we just ask you guys to stay tuned, because the citizens of Rockdale County will be made aware of why they shouldn't vote for this SPLOST. And you've got to let people know why they shouldn't do it. Unlike the Board of Commission, they're just going to tell you should vote for the SPLOST because you always have, and it's the right thing to do. Basic message you're going to get from them: if you don't vote for the SPLOST, we won't be able to get fire trucks and police cars. That's the kind of nonsense they're going to say, when those items should be being purchased out of M&O anyway. Those should not be SPLOST items. Those items should be being purchased out of the general budget anyway. We are spending too much SPLOST money supplementing general budget items right now. And the SPLOST money needs to be spent on what it was intended for: special purpose, special projects. You can look at a lot of counties' websites. Augusta County, I challenge you, go to Augusta County's website and to Augusta, and you read their website. So Augusta, Georgia, they've got a combined county city government. So you go to their website, and it talks about the SPLOST, and it says the SPLOST is a 1 cent fund that is intended for special projects like courthouses, jails, roads, and bridges. It actually says that courthouses, jails, roads, and bridges. The other day, the commissioner at one of the meetings, the chairman, was mentioning about some of the bridges in Rockdale County being in disarray. Well, instead of spending $4 or $5 million on parks, let's take that money, shift it, let's work on some bridges. Instead of taking that money and putting it to projects we don't know about in SPLOST projects, let's deviate some of that money and change it toward bridges, because if bridges are an issue in Rockdale County, and the chairman even said we don't have that many bridges, so let's decide to fix a couple of bridges with SPLOST this time instead of wasting it on those. Let's build a courthouse and fix some bridges. What do you guys feel about that? How about build a courthouse and fix some bridges? What do you think? I think it's a great idea. When can we get signs, Mary? We will on the Rockdale Republican site and on the Rockdale voter site this coming week, we will put up something that you can actually request signs. We'll get an email, and then we'll be in contact with you about you picking the signs up or us delivering the signs. So we will do one or the other, but we will start that you can start requesting them this week. And I would say it'll be the week of the 14th before we actually start delivering signs anywhere. And that gives us an opportunity to get everything organized and to make sure we have everything lined up to do that. So that's what I predict for us doing that. But we are very excited about, and then also one of the things we like to do with these issues is early voting, and early voting is going to be off of West Avenue now. where the school, the alternative school, and where that used to be, in some school offices. So we're going to ask people to do sign waving there across the street on the sidewalk now. When early voting arises, we're going to ask people to volunteer and take shifts and hold up those vote no SPLOST signs. And we'll have you with some literature, because people always, when you do this, people will always walk across and they'll ask questions. Anytime you've done sign waving, sometimes people will ask, and we can do a little educational seminar, let people know about all of it. Cheryl Garcia, let me put this up. I like this comment. I like the idea of building a courthouse on Parker Road and fixing bridges with SPLOST funds. See, I mean, I like the idea too. And I like the idea of building the with SPLOST funds at Parker Road, because we don't go into debt. After we build that courthouse at Parker Road with SPLOST funds, the citizens have no debt, and the county shouldn't have to raise our property taxes through property tax reevaluation to be able to finance bonds and pay the interest on bonds. So what should happen is this: we should pay for that courthouse with SPLOST funds, so that you and I are not entered into a never-ending cycle of property tax increases every single year. Parker, yes, West Avenue is also where you can register now. They moved away from Parker Road. They've actually moved away from Parker Road 4 years ago. Yeah, they were at Parker Road, but a different location. I'm gonna correct myself. But now they've totally gone away from that area. They're over here on West Avenue. Traffic and all that, I think, is going to be a little difficult for them. I think it's going to impact early voting. I don't think we're going to have the early voting impact that we once had. And then also, I'd like to, anybody that would be interested in taking a poll watcher class, so that you can be a poll watcher during early voting. And the one thing that I'm concerned about during the early voting is I want people to watch the drop box that's in the Board of Elections office. Because I really want somebody to want some folks to be able to do that. We want enough people. So we're lining up a class now. State law with 202, when it passed, requires us now to teach a poll watching class. So anybody who was interested in doing that, reach out to the Republican Party. You can call me, and we're going to set that class up. I will be sending an email out, and anybody that's on the Republican Party email list this coming week, you're going to be getting an email letting you know, if you want to be a poll watcher, that we want to offer this class, and it'll be done through the state party. And I need to be scheduling that in the next couple of weeks. So anybody who would like to be a poll watcher, we'll be sending that information out, so that you will be able to take that class and you will be qualified to be a poll watcher in the Rockdale County. So we got a lot of things coming up, guys, but I'm really, really excited about that Cherry Blossom Festival. And yeah, but according to Sue Sanders, like William, let me put that up there. But according to Sue Sanders, they have decided to build it in Old Town, and he's referring to the courthouse. Well, you know, guys, did anybody in this room did anybody in this chat, did any of you agree to have the courthouse building open? Was it, discussed with you? I mean, after the courthouse committee gave their recommendations, did the county come back out and have any more town hall meetings with the people and discuss anything with the people? Or did that just get blurted out one day at one of those 3 meetings that they had virtually that about 6 people listened to? Let me just answer the question in the chat. Who in the chat has went to a meeting since then? They didn't check with Dan Burks. They didn't check with him. Larry Cox, they didn't check with me. Mary Bosworth, no, they did not check with Mary. And that can be every citizen in this county. Their answer is going to be no, they were not checked with. Well, there's 2 or 3 old guys that I think they checked with, but I'm not even going to get into that again with whatever. But yeah, Clayton, we're 100% right. The courthouse was voted down. The citizens of Rockdale County voted down a $140 million courthouse in Old Town. It was soundly defeated by 69 point, almost 70% of the voters in that election. 70% of the citizens of Rockdale County that participated in that election said no. They didn't just say no, they said, oh, hell no. So, guys, we've got a board of commission that doesn't listen to you. You told them no once, they're not going to, they said, well, we're just going to try to circumvent you, do a PFA, and then still build what we want. So we stop the PFA, stop the SPLOST, and make them negotiate with us. And it's not negotiate with the three old guys that they've been having their patsies for the last 20 years. It's negotiate with the people that have actually defeated, that will defeat this SPLOST. You need to negotiate with the people that are your adversaries, not the people that are your friends that are going to go along with you. So, guys, it's time to stand up to this Board of Commission, stop this SPLOST, stop tax abuse, because that's exactly what this is. It's misuse of tax funds and it's tax abuse. Man, a few hundred years ago, they had a little tea party over this kind of stuff. So Rockdale County, we can have our own tea party. And you know, and it starts with voting down this SPLOST this May. And it's going to take each and every one of you. So we're going to ask for your help. We're going to ask for your help for waving signs at West Avenue. We're going to ask for your help with going and knocking on doors and handing out pamphlets. We're going to ask for your help because this is your county, and 2 and 3 people can't do it alone. It takes all of us. So we're going to ask every one of you to step up to the plate and carry your fair share of this weight, because it's up to every one of us to stand up to this corrupt Board of Commission and say enough is enough. And with that being said, enough is enough. I have held you captive long enough. I'm going to let you all go tonight, and it has been a pleasure. I look forward to you guys coming on and watching the show next week. And then also, if anybody wants to run for post 2 commissioner as a Republican, give us a call, come and file, run as a Republican. If you're the only person on the ballot in the primary, you know, you'll sail through, and we'll help you this general election running in that race. I would love to see somebody qualify as a Republican to run in that post 2 election. Maybe even a little bit of financial help to somebody for qualifying fees if they would. Just throwing it out there, man. Might donate to your campaign to make that happen. Just let us know. Somebody wants to run for that office. We might be able to help you with getting some donations to cover your qualifying fees. So just let us know. Reach out to us here at the Republican Party, and we'll see what we can do for you. Sorry, guys, I know I'm usually more of a nonpartisan show tonight, but my Republican oats are just coming out tonight. Can't help myself. Really feeling excited about what the potential is for Rockdale County and for Georgia. And I just ask each and every one of you to help us with these goals that we've got going on. Good night, guys, and see you next week. Thanks for everybody for coming on tonight.